Hello and welcome to this very special interview that we have in store for you at CNBC-TV18. Joining us is Mr. Sanjay Kaul. He's MD at GIFT City. Mr. Kaul, hi. Thank you so much for joining in, taking time out for us. When we look at GIFT City, I understand the initial period is a launch. It's a vision to begin with, and then it's a launch, and then there are some teething problems, and then you see it start taking shape. In 2025, at where we stand, where would you say, where does GIFT City stand right now?
Let's think of it this way, GIFT City was a vision of the Honorable Prime Minister when he was here as the Chief Minister, way back in late 2000, 2007-8. And someone had a vision that we could have something like a Dubai or a Singapore or a Hong Kong here. It took its roots at that point in time. That's how many years back? 18 years back, And it starts from there. The seed is sowed at that point in time. And today, I think you went around the city, you saw it?
I did.
Lots of buildings which are coming up, lots of buildings which have come up. It's a national project, a dream which India saw, the Honorable Prime Minister saw at that point in time, the gateway to the financial markets of the world. And that's where we are today in 2025.
The PM, since you mentioned that, also had a vision that this place would make us the price setters when it comes to various international financial instruments. Are we there yet?
We understand the Financial Services Center. We have a regulator. Regulations came in 2021. That's when the operations actually started, Across various sectors, we have the capital markets, we have the funds, we have ship leasing, aircraft leasing, banks. We have two exchanges. We have the Bullion Exchange, the third exchange. Now, when you talk of price setting, we need to first understand that entities come in first, start their operations. Basically, transactions happen here. Now, if you say price setting, I wouldn't call it as price setting per se. It's operations happening out of here. And I would see it in this way, we need to be there where the operations happen, and that's what is happening. If we talk in terms of price setting, we have the Bullion Exchange where we have precious metals, gold primarily at this point in time. In the future, other metals will also come in. The effort there is that we would ideally want to be the benchmark where the prices would be set. That's what we look at for the future.
The Bullion Exchange, and I'm going to take a leaf out of what you said, clearly has done quite well. When I look at the numbers in the last couple of years have been immense. A huge jump is what we've seen. What is the vision with the Bullion Exchange going forward? I do understand, and there have been conversations around this as well, that primarily all gold that comes into India at some point in time in future would come via IRBX.
Some point in time in the future, that is what the vision is. At this point in time, we have the SEPA gold which is coming in, the agreement which we had with the UAE. That's the gold that is coming in at this point in time in a consignment mode. That is how it is being done now. Any new regulation, any new operation which has not been done until now in the country, obviously need to start with baby steps. That is what we are doing now. As we go in the future, the idea is, of course, the complete transactions happen through this exchange. That's when we have absolute transparency, number one. Number two, make sure that the gold coming in is ESG compliant, which is very important, which I don't think many countries do that. And of course, we send benchmarks with the price. And that's what is the larger vision. All the gold trading happens through the exchange is what we would ideally want to happen.
Mr. Kaul, it is said that GIFT City, with the kind of vision that it came with, whether it has been about taxes, regulations, and more importantly, evolving regulatory framework is what perhaps makes it most important.
Yes, I would say that is one of the features which we are proud of, A regulator that is forward-looking. Normally, when you talk about regulation and being forward-looking or being friendly to your stakeholders, normally doesn't go hand in hand. And of course, a regulator cannot afford to be seen like that. But yes, our regulator, the regulators which we have here, is absolutely different. Very professional is the word I would use. The regulations come in, initially at times you have the sandbox approach, where we try it out on a smaller scale. And the regulations come in. We see how it works in the real-time world. if required, based on stakeholders' inputs, the tweaking is done. That I think is one strength which we have, and I would say that is the strength. Regulations evolve. It's not that you make a regulation and just sit tightly. No, it's done. No. It evolves depending on what the stakeholders want and what other financial centers globally are offering. That's how we work here.
Mr. Kaul, the other thing that I'm assuming you will always be talked about is the competition or the on how the other international hubs perhaps seem to be doing, whether it's Hong Kong, Dubai and Singapore, with that kind of conversation always going in. And the point being that we have seen GIFT City actually climb ranks when you look at the index overall, but still a long way to go.
I see it slightly differently. Why do I need to compete with someone? I need to create my own space. Maybe 5 years down the line, I should be, when I say GIFT City, we should be in a position to say that if this business has to happen, we need to be in GIFT City. If you say that I need to be competing with Hong Kong, which is there since last n number of decades, it would not be quite correct. I need to create my own space, and that's where we are, and that business has to come in here. Say, for example, if we talk about aircraft leasing, at this point in time, it's done out of just 2 centers. Why can't it be that it should be done only from GIFT City? I would want to do something like that, or maybe global treasury operations. Why can't we do it? Why can't, when we say that if it has to be a global treasury operation, it should be GIFT? That is how I see it, because let's understand. How are we placed geographically also? Middle East on one side, the Western world on one side, or the Eastern, Southeast Asia, where we have Hong Kong or Singapore, and we are bang in the middle. Why shouldn't we be leveraging on that advantage? Plus, of course, the geopolitical scenario at this point in time, we should be leveraging on it. And saying that, do I compete with the Hong Kong, compete with the Singapore? No, there's enough space for everyone. We need to create our own identity. We need to be, if it comes to ease on doing business, I would say, I would ideally say that this is the place where you go. You can do it very easily. In terms of the quality of life, this would be a good place to be in. A holistic thing. That is what I would aspire for ideally.
Okay.
And of course, yes, if it's the Indian diaspora who's doing business, I'll say come and do it in GIFT City.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously, that's what I would aspire for.
We are also talking, while we are looking towards an ending of an year, let's take a step back and take a look at on how GIFT City has evolved over the years. If you can share some numbers with us, since you said 2020 and 21 is when we saw the regulatory framework come in, how have we seen GIFT City evolve since then to now? How would you say 2025 has been as a year for you?
Looking back, when I mentioned 2021 is when the regulations came in place. If we look at the numbers, it's in the first year approximately 100 odd registrations were there. That's the time when entities, people are just getting to know GIFT. Last 1 year, the traction has been very good, primarily because we have been out there telling people, educating people as to what has GIFT got to offer. One, second, also the regulations. People have to know about it, and that it's coming into the market. At this point in time, it's around 1,023,000, around 1,025 entities that are registered across various sectors like banks. There are 35 banks, of which about 18 are foreign banks. The combined asset holding size of all these banks is close to $101 billion US dollars. That's a good number, I would say. If you consider it's just, we are growing. It's not that these branches were there when in 21. They're just evolving, coming in. Last quarter, we had 105 registrations last quarter. So we are growing very well. Services like insurance, reinsurance, funds, we have matured enough. The regulations are really good. We can, when you say how do you compare Dubai or Singapore, I would say we are at par, if not at par, better in certain sectors, which makes people come here. That's how we see it.
Oh, well, yes, there are various banks and funds and brokerages and even consulting companies which now have offices in GIFT City. How are you now envisioning 2026 going forward? I have seen a lot of infrastructure come across. I mean, that is one part of this. More in sense of financial numbers. higher trading numbers as well. Are you looking at growth, all of that continuing the way it has been in 25 to continue in 26?
Yes, the BFSI sector would grow as it is growing now at a much better rate.
Okay.
But our focus would be primarily, the GCCs, the Global Capability Centers, which we have not focused, we have not been focusing to that extent what we should have been doing, because the tier 1 cities are already chock-a-block with, everyone is or was going there. They are looking for tier 2 cities. Somehow they didn't understand that we are there, where they can open up a global capability center, and now they're all out in the market saying that we are also here. That's something which is in the forefront of, if you ask me, the next 1 year. Advantages are, one is if we see the cost efficiencies, we are about 15 to 20% lesser than other tier 2 cities.
Okay.
Quality of life is much better than the tier 1 cities. You have lots of pluses as compared to tier 1 cities. So we're going all out to bring in GCCs, and initial response has been very good. It all comes that had we known about this place before, earlier we would have come in. So people are coming in. People are showing real serious interest. That's what we'll be looking at next in the future.
Welcome back. You're with us at CNBC-TV18, and we are in conversation with Mr. Sanjay Kaul. He's MD, Gift City. Mr. Kaul, another thing really is about the specialized talent. What is your strategy when you're looking at attracting and retaining it?
Talent, again, I would see it in two components. One is, what are the indicators? We have more than 1,000 entities which are already here, many more coming in. And these entities require specialized skill sets. They have people working there. It's not that they don't have people working there. So they are getting people from wherever. Okay. It can be locally or from people who are willing to relocate. That's very important. Now let's talk about the local talent. Around Gift City. Now Gift City is not in an island anywhere. It's between Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. It's a continuum. We have institutes like the Indian Institute of Technology, the IIM, NID, NIFT, IIFT, just to name some of the ones which are famous. And others like the Gujarat University, which all are of a very good quality. Travel down, see the larger catchment area, you have Baroda, you have the MS University. You spread further, you have Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, Indore, where you have an IIM. You have in Rajasthan also have IIMs. So in the catchment area, we have sufficient number of students who are skilled. Within Gujarat, let's not go too far. Within Gujarat itself, we have about 4 lakh students who are enrolled in the Gujarat Technical University. These are technically qualified students. So the numbers are there.
I will move from talent to talk about companies now. And Gift City serves as a launch pad for Indian firms to go global in some sense, and then as a landing pad for the foreign companies to come in and explore India. How is Gift City doing that, and how are you looking at the growth within that space?
Now, it depends on which sector you're talking about. You have the banks which come in, you have the fund managers, you have the capital markets, insurance, reinsurance, all of them work differently. What is important is, in this whole ecosystem, how easily you can have the cross-border financial transaction. At the end of the day, it is, how smoothly, how seamlessly funds flow across boundaries. And the regulations of the regulator, the latest one, the global access thing which has come in, it's really very proactive. It's client friendly. It's also friendly to the people who are using it. So those kind of mechanisms which gives you access to play in the global markets, to invest in the global markets seamlessly through broker dealers or subsidiaries of the exchanges which we have here. That's being done very seamlessly. It's matured quite a bit. It's going on well. I would say that is one thing which would draw in companies. At the end of the day, it is how smoothly can transfer your funds, or how smoothly funds can move around. And I think that's the most important thing that has come in.
Going forward, and maybe even before I go to that, I mean, I was going around GIFT City, and yes, there's a lot of green space hub that you seem to be creating around this place. So whether it comes to sustainability, innovation, technology, ensuring enough green around the place, how is that being developed right now, and what really is the target onto that?
Sustainability.
Is that the core of GIFT City, the way I've seen it?
I would start with the infrastructure that we have. We need to understand that you talk about carbon footprints, etc. From where do they come in from? It's the amount of energy that is used. Now here, I think you went around the city and we saw that we have centralized cooling systems. We have an automatic waste disposal system. We have centralized waste collection, waste disposal, and everything centralized through a single duct, which we call the utility tunnel. Now all that contributes to the efficiency. Electricity, the operation costs are about around 20% less than what you would have outside this jurisdiction, where these kind of systems are not there. That's itself I would say sustainable. The construction that happened here, we are very stringent. All the buildings that come in have to have the LEED standards. We are very clear about that. So you walk into any building, it would any day be better than the kind of construction in terms of sustainability, much better than what you would see outside this place. Greenery, of course, there's a lot of greenery. If you see around, we are very conscious about that. We have green spaces which have been left behind, which have been earmarked. We have a central park which is about 30 acres, which is coming up very well. That's a huge, the lungs of the city. Yeah.
Mr. Kaul, as we move ahead into 2026, what is every person brings in their own vision and their own near-term priorities? What is Sanjay Kaul's priorities now going into 2026? What is he doing that ensures that while GIFT City continues to be entrenched in India as it is, and then is global in benchmarking or in nature?
Next 1 year, like I mentioned, I would want to see more institutions coming in terms of the number of people working here. The larger the number of people come in here, our ecosystem grows. And people should understand that, at least if not others, at least the diaspora should understand that this is the place where we should be doing business for, instead of maybe offshore jurisdictions. And I would want them to be here in larger numbers. That is something which we'll be pursuing very aggressively in a very systematic way next year, in 26. Of course, GCCs, as I mentioned. And ease of doing business, of course, we are proud of saying that doing business is very easy here, but even then, I would want, we are creating that single window clearance systems, not only for the regulatory aspect, but also connecting to the people, the entities who come in, the employees, to the social aspects of life also. You come to my center and then you have my back end connecting to you, where is the school for your kids, where is it a hospital, where small things which makes lives easier for them. So basically making it a convenient place to live in and work.
Okay.
That's very important. These are the 2-3 things which I would be pursuing very vigorously in the coming years.
It's usually said that numbers bring names and names bring numbers. So it's always a vicious cycle like that. You already do have some very, very big names. Is it the numbers that you're eyeing now?
Yes, of course, I would want numbers to come in here. Yes.
And what are the challenges that you see that you have on your table? These are the 3 things I need to work on first. What are those things?
Challenges are...
GIFT City gives us huge opportunities, but there are some challenges, clearly.
The only challenge I see is that people out there don't really know what GIFT City has to offer. There are some, misinformed notions that there's no talent available here. And when I'm talking about talent again, the attrition rate is lowest here. In the entities that work here, if we talk to any of them.
So would you say your first task cut out for you is to clear these perceptions?
Yes, and also about the social infrastructure that, it's the middle of nowhere, which I say, you're in Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar.
What about attracting global capital? How is work being done in that direction?
Like I mentioned again, global capital, the capital markets are, we already have the global access regulations which are there, that's maturing, that's quite mature enough. So Once the pipeline, we have lots of entities who want to come in. So pipeline is, I won't say chock-a-block, but then there's enough to fill in the pipeline. So it's just that we need to bring them in comfortably. So capital will come in.
How are you putting out 2026? And would you say the near-term and the longer-term vision seem to be converging right now? This is what you've spoken to us about. The next 1 year is what you're working on. There also is a target that by 2030, all that work that is being done around in GIFT City perhaps would start nearing completion.
Yes, in terms of infrastructure, we are targeting about 62 million square feet is what is our project to the planned constructed area. At this point, it's around 20 odd million square feet for which the planning has been done and developers have started working on it. It's 5 odd million where it's already constructed and occupied. So ideally speaking, 2030 is when we have all these buildings. I wouldn't say complete 62 million, depending also on what kind of entities come in, but they're looking at something around 1 lakh of people working here by 2030. So that itself is an indicator that everything else will develop accordingly. Yep.
And you don't want it just to be a business hub, do you? I mean, I do hear that you do concerts here, and there's some fun stuff that keeps happening around in GIFT City.
It's not about just offices,
All work and no play.
It's GIFT Cities. You have residential properties. We have at this point in time about 1,100 flats which have been transacted upon. We have new apartments coming up, and these apartments are good. We have a club here. We have sports facilities which are going to come up, which will have a golf driving range, the pickleball, soccer field, the smaller one.
You go out and enjoy all those things?
I would be doing it, yeah. I enjoy sports, yes. We have an event arena where we would have concerts happening. That happens on a regular basis.
Final question then, Mr. Kaul. What are the couple of things that are absolutely on your priority that you would want to ensure that you fix it in 2026?
Social infrastructure.
Okay.
That's important because, like I mentioned before, people keep talking about it. That's something which we would be focusing on a lot. Bringing in business, like I said,
is there a target therein?
The BFSI is coming in. GCCs on the business side will be the GCCs which I'm going to be pushing very aggressively. We'll be traveling wherever we have to travel. We'll be doing that to bring in GCCs. We'd also be targeting the diaspora and telling them that you need to come and do business from here. That's also very important because at the end of the day, why should someone of Indian origin do business out of a financial center which is not in India, when you can do the same thing which is in GIFT City? So I think these three are something which...
Are you putting a number to all of these things as well? Are there targets? Are there timelines for this?
See, putting numbers...
These are the kind of number of companies that I want. This is the number of business that I want.
No. I would see it at the end of the year in terms of the percentage, the growth rate. Yeah, I would not want to put a number to it. Number is a standalone. It doesn't reflect anything. It's a growth rate which I think would be more important.
And we will keep an eye on that. Mr. Kaul, as always, thank you so much for joining in and thank you for that conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
your time. Thank you.